Get Sense Gaming.
How to get a hooker to work for you. Cocaine. So that's the premise of the stories, and they're based on real life events that we're going to be talking about here and circumstances. So please don't attempt to copy these stories. And also, it's not for the immature. So with me, I got a special guest here. His name is Killer, aka Ice Dog.
Hello, everybody.
So Killer, how do you get a hooker to work for you?
Well, let's go back in the day a little bit here before actually really cell phones and all that. When everybody carried around big pagers or big cell phones, things were a little bit different. I had a bad addiction years ago. Not that I'm happy of it, but I'm clean now. And I found that the only way to support my addiction was to sell cocaine. The best customers out there are the working girls. They guarantee you money every single day, so you can be doing cocaine every single day.
Cocaine's not just something you just do part-time.
Well, there's a few people out there that believe they can do it part-time, but yeah, to me it's not a part-time drug, and because I have an addictive personality, for me it was not a part-time drug. It became a full-time.
I guess that's why they call it an addiction too, right? Because it's an addiction.
Yeah, you really don't have a lot of choices, and there's a lot of things I've seen in my life that are ugly that people would do for a bit.
Yeah.
The funny thing, what makes me really laugh is that nowadays cocaine powder form is acceptable. You can have 15 people at a party snorting cocaine off tables, off chairs, off mirrors, whatever.
Off hookers' bellies.
One guy pulls a crack pipe out of his pocket in the corner, and people are alienate him that he's the bad guy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at cocaine versus crack, and everybody thinks, oh, crackheads. Like, crackheads are real bad in comparison to guys that just do cocaine.
Okay, they're just as bad.
They're just as bad. It's the
and
same
they're just
thing.
as mental. The thing is, it's a way it affects different people.
Yeah.
Not everybody has the same reaction to crack or to powder form cocaine.
Okay, so how do you get the hooker to work for you?
Well, a lot of the working girls are addicts. So basically, when they get up in the morning, they don't usually have money, and they don't have any drugs. So
Right.
what you need to be is you need to be that nice guy. You need to be that guy that's supporting them with their first hit every day for free.
Right. Wow.
They will become so reliable to you that you don't even have to leave your apartment anymore. They will bring you money. They will bring you customers. They will keep you going.
Thought of a hooker, is that something that, are they trying to do it just for the drugs? Are they doing it for money? Like, obviously they're doing it for money. It's like a stripper, same kind of thing, right? They're doing it to...
No, once the
some sort of
addiction
income.
kicks in, all their money, all their efforts go. They don't care about food. They don't care about showering, getting clean. All they care about is making sure that they have money for their next hit.
So there's such a thing as dirty hookers?
There's lots of dirty hookers out there. And
Are there professional clean hookers too?
well, there's clean hookers, but the clean hookers are usually really high priced. That you get a guy that's working a 9-to-5 job or whatever, or labor or something like that, can't afford.
Right.
And so he's got to go to the lower of the ladder.
Right.
It's like in everything in life. You have your starters, you have your middle girls, and you have your higher ups. The
Right.
higher ups, thousands of dollars an hour or per night. You get those girls.
So like that movie Pretty Woman, for instance, she was a hooker.
She was a hooker, but she was the one that was doing it for the money.
She was doing it for the money.
She had no addictions or nothing.
I don't recall her actually having any drug-related issues.
No, there was
But no, she was more an escort.
She was an escort hooker, same thing, whatever. They both put out for
Is
sex
it the
for money.
same thing?
It is the same thing.
Okay, because like you look in the phone book and there's escorts.
That's a legal way to say hooker.
Right.
Is basically what an escort is, because you give her enough money, she's still gonna do what you want her to do. She's still gonna give you a blowjob. She's still gonna sleep
Right.
with you.
Right.
You know, it's all about the money. They're just a lot higher priced. And the thing is, they don't think they need pimps because they find it safer because they're doing it either online or through the newspaper, through an ad or whatever. So they don't classify themselves as hookers, and that's the way they get by doing it without doing drugs.
Right. So you wouldn't have considered yourself a pimp.
No, I didn't consider myself a pimp because I never took the girls' money. Girls didn't hand me money. Girls gave me money because either they wanted my drugs or because they owed me money for drugs I had previously given them.
Right.
But there's another thing too. Is there's a lot of those girls out there. They're hurting. A guy comes up and offers them $20 for a blowjob. She'll do it because she wants that hit.
Yeah.
A lot of these girls, if you don't keep an eye on them and take care of them, they're dead or in jail within about a year.
Right.
And they're a mess after about a year. I was a nice guy. I used to take care of a lot of these girls.
So they
because
come and stay with you.
They would come and stay with me. I allowed them to have a shower at the hotel room. I put them up in a hotel room.
Right.
You know, make sure they got some sleep. Make sure they were eating before they did that first blast that I was giving them.
Right.
Just to try it, because the thing is, and I know this is really bad to say, but if they're not healthy and they're not looking good, they're not making any money. If they're not making any money, they're not buying any drugs from you.
Right. Nobody wants a dirty ass looking hooker.
Nobody really does. No, they take them, but nobody really. That's not what they're looking for.
Right, because a mouth's a mouth.
A mouth is a mouth, and I've seen some ugly hookers out there, and there's some girls out there that I'm surprised would make money.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the times it starts out with the girl tries it a couple of times, she's partying out, living at home still, right? She gets a small addiction. Then some guy turns her into a hooker by suggesting to her that it's usually some low-life guy that's just leeching off her, that's hanging out with her, using her money to buy his drugs also.
Right.
When I found those cases too, I'd pull the girls away from that kind of guy, because that's not the type of guy I was. They were doing their deeds, although I wasn't interested in what they were doing. They were doing them so they could have money to support their habit. They were coming to me with their money, and I was giving them drugs to support their habit.
Right.
Wasn't taking anything that I didn't deserve.
Yeah.
At the time, and being an addict.
Did you have any male hookers?
No, I didn't know any of the guys. But they were around.
There are male hookers out there?
There are male hookers out there. But also going both ways, where there's guys that are bi that will go do men, because there's men looking for men out there.
Oh, my God.
It's just the way life is. So you'll see a lot of dirty, ugly things, and over the next few episodes, you're going to hear a lot of dirty, ugly things.
That's right. That's kind of the whole idea behind this was, you've got a ton of stories that the average person, like myself even, has no experience whatsoever in this area. So I thought that this would be a great chance for us to share some stories, off the records in a sense, where...
And there's people out there. I paid for my crimes. I've done my time and everything. I'm clean now. I have children, I'm trying to live a life. But you know what? Maybe some of the stories, somebody hearing some of the things I say, maybe a guy 19, 20 that's maybe just starting out might think twice after he listens to some of the stuff we're about to tell him.
Right, because you spent some time... how many years was it?
I did 3.5 years in a penitentiary.
Yeah.
You do some dead time before that in some places, and you know what? You have no life anymore.
Yeah.
You basically... And that's probably what saved me, was going to jail, to tell you the truth.
Wow.
Not that I learned anything by going to jail, but what it did was give me enough time to realize that the drugs didn't have control of me any longer, and once I was clean, I started to think straight again and started to realize, hey, I want to have a life.
Yeah.
If I just go back on the street, start selling again and getting addicted again, the next time I'm going to go to jail for longer. Right. And chances are that I'm probably going to be dead in the next 5 years.
And that's typically how it goes. It compounds. Like if you get caught once and then you get caught again for the same thing, it
just goes up and up. And the thing is, once they know who you are. Okay, they know who you are. And the reason why I got busted was because of the fact is I wasn't like a lot of the other crackheads out there that was just doing it to support my habit. I was actually making some money. I was actually doing okay, along with using a lot of drugs at the same time. But those are the guys they pull off the street because they figure you still have a chance. Those other guys are just straight crackheads. Right. They know. They just leave them alone. They don't even bust them anymore because they know they're basically just making enough to cover their addiction. They're not hurting anybody. It's pointless.
Yeah.
Vancouver, I've seen people get jacked up on the streets of Vancouver, and the cops have taken their dope from them, crushed it on the street, and sent them on their way because it's too much of a hassle for them to take this guy to jail again, put him in jail again for another year and a half because it's just for possession, and then he's back out and then they're busting him again.
Right, yeah.
Some of these guys go through revolving doors. I ran into people that have been in jail 15, 20 times over cocaine. Crazy. I've met a lot of people in my life that aren't here any longer because of cocaine.
Yeah.
And I've met people that were stand-up citizens, bus drivers, lawyers, guys that had families that basically their lives were destroyed because of cocaine.
Yeah, wow. Well, that's a good start. I'd say we go with that.
And you know what? We'll see you again, and we have a lot more to share. This is just to sort of give you an idea of what we're going to be about here over the next few episodes. So have a good night.
Yep. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.